Hello and welcome to Distributed Systems and Blockchain in the News. My name is Thomas Bocek, and this week in the news we have the following articles. The first one is a link to a rather critical site towards cryptocurrencies. The title is Ethereum Transition to Proof of Stake Delayed Again, as is tradition. As you can read from this article, it sounds a bit negative. It's this side here, and the article is about the delay of the switch from proof of work, which currently Ethereum is using for their scarce resources. They want to switch to proof of work because proof of work is currently very energy intensive, since you need a lot of energy for solving these crypto puzzles, typically done on a GPU, and they want to transition to a proof of stake based system, which is much more energy friendly. There are also good sites about how much energy is actually used. Ethereum energy, and you can see it's not as bad as with Bitcoin, but still it's quite a lot. It's the following site here, which I find pretty good. And this is about Ethereum. So it needs currently 106 terawatt hours. If we compare it to a country, so it's okay, this is together Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's somewhere between Italy and United Kingdom, so it needs lots of energy. Ethereum also 106 terawatt hours. If you compare it to Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a bit more, twice as much, 204 terawatt hours, but still Ethereum uses and needs a lot of energy. And with proof of stake, this should become much better. So everyone is arguing that Ethereum is not that bad currently with the proof of work, since they will transition anyway, but they are transitioning since quite so many years now, always delayed. And this article goes in the same direction, that it's delayed again. There is also or was a tweet, or is a tweet, that it won't be June. It was announced to be June, but likely in a few months later. However, in my opinion, I don't think it will be a few months after June, because we have heard it so many times. Probably end of this year, maybe next year. That's my guess. It could be that it's much faster, but from the past experience and from the past learnings, I think it will take a bit longer. They also have a nice FAQ, of course, to say what the impact is, especially due to the difficulty bomb. This will be most likely delayed. Difficulty bomb, we will also talk briefly in our lectures what this is. This is for forking, for hard forking the chain to be able to upgrade. We'll talk about this in the lecture. If you want to check out the site, I think it's quite, they have lots of information. I think it's a good site. I like to read the site. However, it's quite negative, so make your own opinion, and but they have lots of information here. The next article is about a former Ethereum developer, Virgil Griffith. That's this guy here. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison for a North Korea trip. That was a bit alarming. He was giving a talk at the crypto conference in 2019. That was, as I mentioned, a bit alarming, since you need to take care where you give your talk. However, this talk was about how to circumvent the sanctions against North Korea, so a specific topic, how North Koreans can circumvent these sanctions. So he was sentenced for giving out this information. Still, I think the punishment is quite harsh. I always show in the beginning of this lecture that hardware can fail or will fail eventually. This is one of those examples where also the cloud can fail. Happens to the Hetzner Cloud. Here's the following link. It's the site Golem, which is reporting about this. It's in German, but there are also English articles, and roughly 1,500 snapshots. So they're made typically due to backups. They were lost, and interestingly, I found another article here on Bleeping Computer that they gave 20 euros as compensation, which is probably not that much if you lost data. And also interestingly, they are speculating about what could have happened, and also citing here this German news tech outlet Golem, which basically details why this was the case. However, they're still speculating. So they're speculating about hacking, about backup errors, about catastrophic disasters such as fire. If one clicks on this link, that's the link I also provided in the slides. They have here the details of what went wrong, and the problem is that two hard drives failed at the very same time. So they had redundancy. They used erasure coding for redundancy. With a redundancy factor, it seems like 2. So if one disk fails, another one comes up, the data is then synchronized, all is fine. However, in this case, two disks at the very same time they broke, and then obviously if there's only redundancy of 2, then data is lost. So the only thing that can be learned how to prevent these things is that you need more than a redundancy factor of 2. Since they used erasure coding, most likely Reed Solomon, other companies that also have storage facilities such as Google and Facebook also use these erasure codes. So they have, the Google has an erasure code of 6.3, means that in total you have 9 blocks or 9 disks where you store data on 6 of them, and any 3 of them can actually be lost and the data still there. So out of these 9 disks, if 3 breaks at the same time, you still have the data. And with Facebook, it's 10 out of 4, so you have 14 disks. If of those 14, any of those 14, if 4 of those break, it still works. If 5 break at the same time, then also you have lost the data. And it seems like that Hetzner is using a redundancy factor of 2 here. And yeah, they gave 20 euro bonus. Here's a nice paper about erasure coding, Reed Solomon, especially how it works. So here you see how Facebook is doing, how Google is doing. If they have out of 9 disks, or 9 blocks, you can actually use 6, and here with Facebook, if you have 14 disks and you can actually use 10, you have a storage overhead of 1.5 respectively 1.4, so this explains it quite nicely. And if you want a security, if you want to make sure you have your data, more redundancy is obviously better, at the cost of more storage, at the cost of more overhead to maintaining these replicas. The last article is about another DeFi hack, yet another DeFi hack. It's Beanstalk. I think it's quite an interesting hack. 80 million went bust. Beanstalk is a fully decentralized stablecoin, and they made an exploit based on the governance token, which is described in this tweet here. So very nice tweet. One can follow this tweet, lots of information. And what they did is they Flash loaned lots of their governance token, and with the governance token they got the supermajority. Based on the supermajority, they could introduce new kind of proposals or change the system as they wish. What they did, so they voted obviously for themselves, and they were able then to pull out most or all of the funds, and send those funds to Tornado Cash, which is a way on how to wash your money or wash the cryptocurrency. It uses zero knowledge proofs. This will be a topic for the upcoming lecture, Distributed Systems Advanced, respectively the blockchain lecture. So here you cannot trace back who was the sender, who was the recipient. So this is a good way how to wash your money, what they actually did. So you can see that the money is flowing into, but you don't know who gets the money. And this is already the third big DeFi hack this month, which is seen here in this on this nice website. There is Beanstalk. There was a rather smaller one, Elephant Money, only 22 million. There was Inverse Finance, 15 million, so that was all in April. And what's also new is the information who did the Ronin hack. The Ronin hack, I was talking about this in the lecture 6, so which is here Axie Infinity's Ronin hack. They suffered an exploit from with roughly 625 million US dollars involved, and that was linked to a group originating from North Korea. I also like this site here, which also shows current hacks. So they show only the bigger ones, that's why you only see 2 here in April, but yeah, roughly 2 to 3 DeFi hacks every month. And this was the pace since last year already, and it seems that the pace is continuing. So next month we will also most likely see 2 major DeFi hacks.